and welcome to my kitchen. And today I'm going to make a proper monkey bread. I make up a double batch of my perfect sandwich loaf recipe, and because I made one the other day to share with you and show you how I make it, I only made one. We usually go through 2 loaves a week, and this week I only made 1 loaf, and I made a cinnamon raisin loaf. So instead of baking it off, instead of putting it in the freezer, I decided to go ahead and make monkey bread. Doesn't that sound like fun? Because monkey bread is the perfect thing to make for Christmas breakfast. And I thought it might be fun to try. Now I do have another monkey bread recipe on my channel, but it is really old, is really bad quality, and I used refrigerator biscuits in it. But you know what? That's fine. You use what you have accessible to you. Today I'm going to use some of my homemade bread dough, and we're going to go see how we do that. The ingredients, and then we're just going to move right into building this monkey bread. This is really simple and it's fun to do, and it doesn't take very long. We're going to start with one recipe of my homemade bread dough. This is from the perfect sandwich loaf recipe. I'll link that below and you can just click through and watch it. And we're also going to use 1 cup each of granulated sugar and brown sugar, your choice, dark brown, light brown, whatever you have. 1½ sticks. So this is 3/4 of a cup of melted butter. And I have 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon, and I also have 2 cups of chopped pecans. This is totally optional. You use whatever you like. Do you like walnuts? Do you like almonds? You decide what you use. So we're just going to go ahead and move right into making this up. Bigger bowl, always better. Rick most times is correct about that. I do have a tendency to put things in bowls that are too small. Now, that's probably one of the few times you'll hear me admit that I'm incorrect. I never say the W word. And ladies, don't ever say the W word to your husband. Okay, I'm going to toss the cinnamon in here. Of course, I'm kidding. I'm big enough to admit when I'm mistaken.
I was going to say Peter started the Church of Fonzie.
The Church of Fonzie? Mm-hmm. Well, Fonzie never used the W word either. In fact, it hardly ever passed his lips. Whenever he tried, it always come out. Woo, 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 woo.
He couldn't
right? He couldn't say it. It's true. Okay, now do you see this nice blend I have here? The cinnamon is a natural desiccant, so naturally it's going to take up a little bit of the moisture that's in there from the brown sugar, but it's also going to help blend those sugars together. And it's going to give you a nice consistency. That's just what you want. If you have a couple little lumps in there from the brown sugar, no biggie. Don't worry about it, because that's just going to add to the dish once it's all baked up and caramely and bubbly and delicious. So, okay. Now, what I have here is my tube pan that has the removable bottom. I've sprayed it very liberally with the vegetable oil from my misto. And we're good to go. We're just going to set that over there. And now we can start building stuff. The nuts come in a minute. Now.
I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to go.
I'm sorry. Now, okay, this is, you don't have to make perfect little knobs of dough. I'm just going to break pieces off, roll them in the sugar, pop them in the pan. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle some chopped pecans in here, and you could also feel free to do the same thing on the bottom before you start your first layer. And I probably have enough dough that I'm going to get a second layer out of this. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have finished the remainder of the dough, and any butter or sugar that you have left, just go ahead and kind of dump it right there on top. Now, I'm going to put a bonnet on this, and I'm going to let it rise for about an hour, and then we're going to come back and we're going to bake it off. In about a half hour before you put it in the oven, you're going to want to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and I will warn you, I mean, I'll just give Rick your pan down on the counter. Like, monkey bread is not for sissies, and it's very, very messy. Okay? So if you're OCD, you might not want to make monkey bread. I'm just saying. Messy. but delicious. Okay, we'll be back when it's time to put this in the oven. Okay, our monkey bread has risen for about an hour and it is now ready to go in the oven. You see how nicely it's filled up this pan? And it's all ooey and gooey and sweet and it's nutty. And we're going to put it in the oven. I've got it preheated at 350 degrees. I have placed my tube pan on a pizza pan that I have lined with a double layer of parchment paper. And we're going to put that in there for about 25 minutes and we're going to bring you back when it's time to pull it out. All right, our monkey bread's ready to take out of the oven. Look at that. It's heavy. So pretty. Melty, caramelly, and beautiful. And then I'm going to attempt to depan this monkey bread because you don't want it to sit in there, because if you do, you know, you're going to end up with a giant mess. Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm stepping back.
I would step back as well. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what happened.
And then you gotta flip it again?
No, no, no. It stays in there. Came out that way pretty clean. Let's grab a knife. Huh? Huh. If your monkey bread falls apart,
It's supposed to.
it's okay. It's all good. Okay. We're going to be the only ones eating this anyway. You can let that cool for about, I'd say at least an hour, because that's hot, hot sugar. Oh, groans my husband. You don't want to burn your tongue on this for sure.
No.
That would be very unpleasant. And if you're making this for Christmas breakfast, you certainly don't want to hurt yourself. You want Christmas to be happy. You don't want your only memory to be a scorched tongue. All right. So we'll be back when it's time to give this a taste. It looks relatively beautiful. Alrighty, I went ahead and this is what you do when your monkey bread falls apart upon depanning. You pile it high on a pretty platter and nobody knows that it was ugly when it came out of the pan.
It was beautiful until it fell apart.
It was beautiful until it fell apart, but still, it tastes amazing and nobody is going to complain about this. You know, we put it on a pretty Christmas platter. You're going to put this out on your Christmas breakfast table or on your buffet, and everybody is just going to pick at it. It's going to be beautiful and nutty and caramelly and delicious. And you don't need anything to go along with this except a steaming cup of coffee or hot chocolate. Everyone is going to love this. Huh?
Or eggnog.
Or eggnog. That would work too. So I hope this gives you some idea of something easy that you can make for Christmas breakfast. Don't forget, you can get this all put together. Put a plastic wrap over top of the pan. Stick it in your fridge the night before. In the morning, just go ahead and stick it on your counter. It's going to rise while it's in the refrigerator anyway. Put it on the counter while you're preheating your oven. Pop it in there for about an hour. If it's going to be cold from the fridge, put it in there for an hour. And then let this go. If it falls apart when you take it out of the pan, I might suggest that you let it sit in the pan for 10 or 20 minutes before you take it out. Then it's going to stay together. I was a little bit impatient and I wanted to get it out of there so I could show it to you. But it's all good. You know what? You just make it work. It doesn't matter. I hope that you try this version of monkey bread and I hope that you love it. And until next time, happy holidays.